What's going on, everybody? This is Nifuji here with another World of Warcraft video, and today I'm going to be giving you a first look at Resto Druid in the heroic raid testing on the War Within. This is going to be a pretty short video. We only got to do 2 bosses, and I basically am just putting in the kills. You can skip ahead like 30 seconds from my yapping right now if you want to get right into that, but it's going to be kind of a voiceover style because I'm terrible at audio editing and left some Discord audio in, so I'm going to be voicing over kind of how those fights went, how I feel about Resto Druid in comparison to my last video where I said that they're going to feel mediocre. If you haven't seen that, feel free to check that out. But yeah, in this video, just before I hop into the kills, you can see off these charts, we somehow managed to basically 2-heal um, on some of these pulls, and Druid is not feeling as bad as I was expecting it to, but there is definitely some notable issues, which is what I will talk about while we're doing the pulls. So I will see you guys over there, starting with our first boss of the raid, which is going to be me opening the dungeon journal to tell you that his name is Ovi'nax the Devourer. So let's get right into it. Alright, so jumping right into this fight, and before I begin, I will be making some short guide videos, probably, for these bosses once we've been able to do the full length of testing closer to launch. But you're going to see from the meters that this is a couple pulls in. We were purposefully dying so that we could test him a little longer. But yeah, we're going to jump right into this. We're going to Bloodlust on pull here. As you can see, I am just kind of ramping it out with rejuves because in a moment here, we're going to take some big damage. Unfortunately, one of the things I mentioned in my last video is we don't get flourish anymore. So that would have been a cool flourish, but we don't get it. You can see some damage comes out. I'm going to get this debuff on myself. Like I said, making guide in the future, but basically running on the spiderwebs equals bad. Clearing that debuff with the spiderwebs in the debuff circle clears it. I start ramping here because we're going to get this big mechanic. We're all going to run away so we don't die, so I roar. And yeah, for the main part, Resto Druid kind of just plays out the same as it always does. You're just kind of ramping into damage windows. You're going to see I'm kind of just throwing a lot of hots because we only have a handful of pulls on these bosses and we didn't get a lot of prep time. So I don't really know when the damage is coming outside of the few pulls we did. I remembered from the previous pull we took a lot of damage here because of a ticking dot and that AoE, so I go ahead and trank. And we're going to just play out the fight how you would expect it to, right? So one really cool thing about Druid that I also mentioned in my last video is that Master Shapeshifter talent that we have currently in retail. And it's going to let you get mana back when you're in Boomy form. You don't need to be in Boomy form anymore, and I predicted, actually, that it was going to be a little overtuned, and it kind of feels like it. So I don't think I do it in this fight, but you'll see in the next one I Wrath quite a bit, and you get a ton of mana back from that. It's insane. But for now, I'm just going to kind of keep using my cooldowns. The playstyle doesn't really differ too much. One thing it's going to be hard to see in the video, but after every Grove Guardian, I try to cast a heal to get the use out of our hero talent, which actually stacks, I believe, so you don't need to do that, but I do. Right now we're in phase 2, so he's spawning ads, and he does this huge tunnel shit, so you see I'm just kind of running away, getting out the way of that, and I'm going to keep throwing heals out. This phase probably should not have this much damage happening. Our tanks were being a little silly sometimes with it being a new fight, and they weren't able to pick up the ads as quick, so people are just getting jumped by ads. So as we leave this phase, you can see there's like kind of flesh on the ground, and you can pick those up and throw it to the boss with this extra action button to kind of reduce the damage you take, I suppose. You're going to see I kind of start trolling right now. We were calling to stop damage so we could pull again, but everyone just kept hitting the boss, so I'm just running around. But yeah, overall, this fight was pretty chill. There's a lot of predictable damage. This is going to be a good Druid fight, especially going into it being like a current season. So yeah, you can see there's not really a whole lot going on here. It's first boss of the raid. Pretty cool. And I got to use most of my Druid abilities. The main hit that I felt on this was Flourish. But yeah, we're going to jump into the second boss now, which definitely took us a few more pulls. We're going to jump into the second boss now, which definitely took us more pulls. I think it took us 9 or 10 to get this guy down. Probably has a little bit too much health, but he also just has some unique mechanics. So you're going to see I am ramping on pull again. We have split the raid in half for our strategy that the tank that was kind of running our group put us for. Again, making guides in the future. The lowdown is these ads are going to spawn. You have to go under after getting hit with the frontal from the boss in order to interrupt and kill them. which is going to make us able to kill the boss, because otherwise the boss gets a shield. So the reason I ramped on pull, there's a ton of damage coming out. You can see Team 2 is purple, so they're underneath killing those ads right now. Meanwhile, up top, we just get to beat the crap out of the boss and dodge these interesting little void tentacles that are spawning and chasing people around. Additionally, any of this like sanguine, ichor, water crap that you can see is big damn, so you try not to stand in that. We get this, I think it was called Black Blood again. This ability is coming down here doing a ton of damage. So this fight has a lot more healing required throughout. Unfortunately, we lost our Resto Sham when we went into this, and one of our priests was struggling a bit, so it was just me and this other guy kind of doing that. But you'll see I do have enough mana to get through it with the mana pot and using Wrath. So yeah, basically my strategy with this is to kind of just keep HOTS up non-stop. This fight felt like there was a really good pattern of just damage coming out. So we had that Black Rain, the Black Blood Rain, and now it's our turn to go under, so we have a healing absorb that comes on us that I'm healing off, and then that Black Blood happens again. So there's a lot of damage. Happens in predictable windows, but the windows are pretty short. Like, there's just damage nonstop. So I was saving Tree for when we went under. You can see I'm spot healing a lot. Regrowth feels very powerful right now, especially because I opted to go with a second Swiftmend charge for this build. So I've been Swiftmending into Regrowth pretty often for spot healing. You can see I'm going to start throwing heals up. Now that we've killed those ads, we're going to come up pretty soon, and we're going to get this huge like AoE that we have to dodge. But before that, we get one more dose of this freaking COVID-19 blood that I have to heal off of people. Again, doesn't feel too different from how you would typically play Druid. I think an encounter like this is a pretty good showcase for the new hero talents, because anyone I'm healing after I Grove Guardian here is guaranteed getting hit by that extra heal. So as you can see, we dip, we run out of here, and when we come back, we're going to have a dot on us that does a crap ton of damage. So I come out, I throw a couple hots, and I'm going to trank this. And you can see them health bars are going down. They are going down the hill, and they ain't coming back up until right now. So that dot goes off. Then we get the Black Blood. There's a ton of damage right here. I'm actually pretty surprised that we were able to heal through this. You can see right now I'm hitting 730k, so big numbers. But again, numbers don't really matter on the beta. Yeah, but that's basically this whole fight, so I'm not going to talk about the mechanics too much more. You can see that it's just repeating over and over and over. We get these huge black beams that are spawning right now that you need to dodge, or you just get Thanos snapped, and then you take turns, one half of the raid going down, then the other half to kill these ads, while the other half beats the crap out of the boss. Right now, I realize that I'm lost, and somehow my group is way behind, like way ahead of me actually, so I had to do this huge loop around the map, which was a bummer because they only had one healer and he was struggling, so I had to get back over there. So I think we definitely struggle a bit here because of that. I don't know why I wild growth it just then. That was a terrible use. It only hit like 2 people. But I'm going to come over here, start throwing some regrowths out. Now it's time to go under. So I got tree back up. Boom, baby. Big tree. Wah-ya! More of that Black Blood. This boss for a second boss, he claps. He does a lot of damage. So we're going to do this. He's also really tanky. This was like a 6-minute kill or something. So yeah, we're starting to lose people, which kind of sucks. Again, here comes those big beams. They will just straight up insta-kill you from 100 to 0. So we're working on keeping everyone alive. Boss is at like 35% health still. And I'm just using my tree ramp. And just like the last time, we killed our ads, which means we're close to this Black Blood mechanic again. And then we're going to hop out from the underneath right now. We're going to get that big AoE we have to run from. I'm pretty sure some of my homies died because I don't have Trank up for this one and I did not ramp properly. So you can see I come over from my group, pop a regrowth. Here comes the mechanic. We're all going to run away. And everyone's taking huge ticks of damage from touching that sanguine water on the way out, which is what is doing so much. Now we have that dot. We come back and I got a Tree of Life proc. God bless, because otherwise everyone was dead. But I'm starting to throw out some rejuves now and just get some spot healing out on people. Earlier I mentioned it really sucks we don't have Flourish anymore. I still feel that way on this fight. I really wish I had Flourish, but honestly what hurts even more is that our rejuves just don't duplicate anymore. So you're throwing all these rejuves out over the course of the fight and you're just not getting any extra throughput out of it. The one, like, I guess change is now that we have that talent that makes it so when you rejuve, it does a little bit of an on-cast heal. It kind of helps, but like it's not massive, you know? Like I wish our rejuves would just duplicate still. Again, we're just kind of going with the same ebb and flow, so I got a couple Ras in for some mana because I'm getting a little bit low, and we're just going to keep up with the pace. So I get my tree proc again, throwing out wild growth, getting hots on people because we have the heal absorb once again that came out. As you can see, we're still able to get some pretty big numbers. I'm assuming that's big for now. We don't really know because it's still in beta, but it felt okay enough. You know, obviously we're supposed to 4-heal this. So I have my actual tree cast now. We go underneath, and here's our ads, and you will see pretty shortly that something catastrophic is going to happen. But for now, I'm just throwing hots out on everyone, trying to keep everyone alive. Really, I could have healed better on this fight. It was just a lack of knowledge of the fight, even after those pulls. So if you see this little feller on my left on the bottom of the screen and the one next to me, they are not allowed to reach the boss. And as you can clearly see, they're about to reach the boss. And so basically when a mommy and a daddy meet, what's going to happen is the whole raid's going to get fucked. So everybody died. I'm trying to figure out what just happened. And that's the whole fight. And he is going to die in just a second here somehow. But yeah, overall the healing felt fine. Like we basically 2-healed it, even though it's a heroic encounter and we're scaled strangely. So it is healable. And Resto Druid felt fine. Like I had mana for most of that. I got some back near the end. Obviously, it's going to suck not having Flourish, despite Flourish not being that crazy of a cooldown. It is kind of a bummer that our rejuves don't duplicate anymore, but we still get healing, so that's nice. But yeah, that's basically the only stuff I wanted to cover today, just to kind of go over again, like, I think Resto Druid feels okay. Definitely feels a little better than how I thought it would. It's definitely going to be a viable choice as long as numbers don't get hit too hard. And yeah, I look forward to testing more. If you want to come back tomorrow, I'm going to be testing out Rshaman and the 3 bosses that we can test tomorrow. So I hope to see you guys then. Leave a comment if you want to, discuss what I talked about in this video if you have any questions. And once again, I'll have some guide videos coming out as we get closer to the War Within launch. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys later. Peace.